Hello, today I'm going to show you how to make blueberry muffins. So we are in the quick bread unit. So if you recall from our quick bread notes, there are different mixing techniques for quick breads. We have the pastry method where we cut in fat. We have the creamy method where we incorporate butter and sugar, and then we add our ingredients in a specific order, and then we have what's called the muffin method. So the muffin method is when you have dry ingredients in one bowl and liquid in another. So we are making blueberry muffins to practice this method. So I have my ingredients already measured in mise en place. You will do the same, get everything measured. And then we also obviously are gonna be incorporating blueberries. This is at the end. And then to step this up a notch, because blueberry muffins, sometimes students think it's just basic, we're gonna make them a little bit more gourmet by making a topping. So you're gonna be doing all of this. You have a mise en place day, and then you have a mixing and baking day, okay? So I'm gonna do everything from start to finish. So I already got my muffin pan ready. This will make 12 muffins. I have 24 ready just in case, just because I wanted to fill the pan. And then I am going to start with actually making our topping, just because I want to preface it that on your mise en place day, it's important that this gets done. So we need lemon zest for our topping and sugar, and I measured my sugar in my bag, which is just 3 tablespoons, and because I want to save on cleanup, I am going to put my lemon zest directly in here so I don't have another bowl to dirty. So I need lemon zest in the muffin and in the topping. So just as a reminder, this is a grater, this is your lemon, and I always like to start on the part of the lemon, the rind, that has an edge. And we are just going back and forth, and I like to do it over a plate, a disposable plate, or a bowl, whatever you have available to you. And just go back and forth, and then all of that zest falls right onto my plate. And then now I'm just gonna measure I need 1.5 teaspoons. I'm doing my topping right now. Okay, I'm gonna put my 1 teaspoon, and then a 1/2 teaspoon. So there's a natural oil in the zest. And when you mix it all up with that sugar, it will turn into a lemon sugar. So I'm just gonna close my bag, and I'm just going to kind of mix it together, and it just really adds a nice finishing touch to these muffins. Okay, so I got that all combined. Look at that, yum, 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 and it smells so good, okay? So now our topping is ready. I'm just gonna set that off. Now, let's get started on our batter. So we're doing the muffin method. Everything is scaled for us. So you're gonna measure everything. Let's start with our dry. So in this bowl, I'm gonna combine our flour, which is obviously our base. So in quick breads, we talk a lot about leavening as well, just as a review. So I have my baking powder, okay? So baking powder is double acting, so we'll activate once when we add our liquid, and then we'll activate it again while we apply heat, all right? This is not a baking soda in it, so we do not need an acid, but this does have an acid in it. Okay, we have salt, and then we have our sugar. This recipe calls for 2 sugar amounts, sugar for the batter, which gets incorporated with our flour, and then the sugar for the topping. So make sure you're paying attention to which amount is correct. So I'm gonna take my wire whisk, I'm just gonna combine this together, just so it's all incorporated. And then over here, I am going to incorporate my liquid ingredients. So my first liquid ingredient is 2 eggs. I've already had these measured. All right, so I'm just putting all my garbage into my baggie, and then I'm going to incorporate my vanilla, which is our flavoring enhancement. So the purpose of the eggs in this recipe is to bind and add some flavor. And then we have our milk, which is our liquid ingredient, adds a little bit of moisture, helps with binding. Okay, and then we are going to add in our melted butter. So I've already melted this. It's only 2 ounces. And you are just gonna put this into your microwave. Start with 30 seconds, maybe even less depending on how your microwave is. You want it completely melted, but what happens is this is warm and this is cold. So I'm gonna start mixing this first, so all those eggs are incorporated. And then this, sometimes it gets obviously cold hot. It's gonna look like it's chunky, but it's not. It's exactly how it's supposed to be. Okay, so that is all incorporated. Okay, I'm just gonna set this over here. All right, so now I have my dry and I have my liquid. I'm gonna make a little well in the center, and we're gonna do the mixing method. Okay, the mixing method of this is you just put your liquid ingredients right in the center, and then you are going to mix until lumpy. What that means is this is not gonna be a smooth batter. If you do the creamy method, you're gonna have a nice smooth batter. This, you're only mixing till incorporated, and like I said, it's gonna be lumpy because you wanna avoid tunneling. Tunneling is a result of over mixing. It's big air pockets in your muffins. And it doesn't they don't look nice. They rise a lot when they're baking, and then they fall. And then you have big air pockets, okay? So here is what it should look like. Nice and lumpy, kind of like a pancake batter. Okay, and then I'm gonna add in my blueberries. My blueberries still need lemon zest for that little bit of flavor. So I'm gonna take 1 tablespoon of my lemon zest that's right over here. And I'm just gonna mix them into my blueberries. And then I'm going to dump this in right here. And I'm going to fold. So folding is I go around and up, around and up. You only are gonna fold it a little bit to incorporate those blueberries. You don't want them to burst, okay? Now we are ready for portioning. Okay, so I'm gonna take my yellow portion scoop, and I am going to take a portion and just insert into my muffin liner, just like so. Notice there's no muffin around. And then I'm going to take a sprinkling of my lemon sugar right on the top. You wanna make sure you use all of your lemon sugar. You can make it more precise and put about a half teaspoon on each one. And then these are gonna bake in the oven. They take about 12 minutes, and I'll show you them. Right, we are back and our muffins are done. They've just come out of the oven, so you can see that the lemon sugar kind of caramelized on the top. Now, metal is a conductor of heat, so if you leave them in here, they are going to keep baking, and then they'll dry out. So just take them out very carefully, and then enjoy.